Let me ask you something real. What if the only thing standing between you and the life you were created for is you? Not your past, not your circumstances. You. The truth is, you don't need a new year, a new job, or some miracle moment to start over. All you need is a made-up mind. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do isn't to keep pushing harder. It's to stop, reset, and come back with clarity, purpose, and fire. You ever look around and think to yourself, how did I get here? Life has a way of pulling us in 100 directions, wearing us down, making us forget who we are and why we started. But let me tell you something. It's not too late, not even close. You just need to hit that button. It's time to reset, restart, refocus. Now, first, let's be real. Before you can fix anything, you've got to admit it's broken. I'm talking about your habits, your mindset, maybe even your circle. You can't pretend your life is fine when your spirit's running on empty. You've been carrying stuff you should have dropped years ago. Guilt, regret, old relationships, old failures. Let it go. Stop acting like it's not heavy. It is. And it's slowing you down. Resetting starts in the mind. If you keep thinking the same way, you're going to keep living the same day over and over. That negative self-talk, kill it. That voice in your head that says you're too old, too late, not good enough. Liar. You are more than what you've been through. But you've got to start thinking like it. Then it's time to restart. But don't just start over blindly. Start with purpose. Don't just wake up and exist. Wake up and aim. Every restart needs a direction. Ask yourself, what am I really doing this for? If your why doesn't move you, it won't move anybody else either. Now let's talk about focus. You got dreams, but your focus is split in 12 directions. You're checking your phone more than you're checking your progress. You're watching other people live their dreams while yours are sitting on the shelf collecting dust. Refocus. Aim your energy where it counts. Stop wasting time trying to convince the wrong people of your worth. Water the seeds that actually have a chance to grow. And listen, some people ain't meant to go with you. I know that's hard, but it's true. Some folks were only in your life for a season. Don't drag them into your next chapter just because you're scared to be alone on the first page. You've got to have the courage to walk away from what no longer grows you. Lastly, and this might be the most important thing I say, make sure your foundation is solid. Whether you call it God faith or something deeper inside yourself, keep it with you. You can set new goals, take new paths, start fresh, but if you aren't grounded in something bigger than you, you'll fall for anything. Reset your faith. Restart with trust. Refocus on what's eternal, not just what's urgent. Let today be the day you stop surviving and start living with intention. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect timing. You just need to decide, I'm not staying here. I'm not stuck. I'm not done. It's time. Restart. Refocus. And don't look back. You know, one of the hardest things for people to do is be honest with themselves. I'm talking about real honesty, the kind where you look in the mirror and stop making excuses, stop pointing fingers, and just own it. That's the beginning of everything. You can't change what you won't confront. You can't fix what you keep pretending is fine. So before we talk about resetting your life, let's talk about what made the reset necessary in the first place. Some of y'all are tired. Not just physically tired, spiritually tired. Worn out from carrying burdens that weren't even yours to begin with. Carrying shame, carrying disappointment, carrying heartbreak, failure, comparison, and you're trying to move forward, dragging all that weight behind you. It's no wonder you're stuck. But here's the truth. Life is going to hit you. Sometimes it's your fault. Sometimes it ain't. But either way, if you don't stop and say, okay, this ain't working, something's got to change, then nothing ever will. See, we love to talk about goals, success, vision boards, all that, but nobody wants to talk about the mess we're trying to build on top of. You can't build a future on a broken foundation. If the inside of your life is a disaster, no amount of hustle is going to fix that. That's like trying to renovate a house without checking if the walls are about to cave in. So the first thing you've got to do is stop, breathe, and take a long look at your life, what you're doing, who you're doing it with, and whether it's really working. Some of y'all keep praying for a breakthrough, but you won't admit that you're part of the problem. You want a better relationship, but you haven't dealt with the last one. You want financial blessings, but you don't manage the money you have. You want peace, but you keep surrounding yourself with chaos and calling it love. That's not a breakthrough. That's denial. And denial don't change nothing. It just delays your destiny. Listen, this ain't about beating yourself up. This is about calling yourself up. It's about saying, all right, I've made some mistakes. I've fallen short. I've taken some wrong turns. But that doesn't mean I have to stay here. Because once you tell the truth about where you are, you can finally start moving in a different direction. And that's when the reset becomes real. Not a temporary fix. Not a new calendar with the same problems. A real, heart-level, mind-shifting, spirit-waking reset. But don't expect it to feel good right away. Facing your mess is uncomfortable. It's like cleaning out a closet. You find stuff you forgot was there, stuff that hurts to look at, stuff you wish you never touched. But you've got to pull it all out before you can decide what to keep and what to throw away. That's what this process is. It's emotional spring cleaning. It's unpacking the junk so you can finally breathe in your own life again. And here's another thing. Stop being ashamed of your truth. Whatever your story is, you survived it. You're still standing. Do you know how many people didn't make it this far? Do you know how many people wish they had the chance to reset, but ran out of time? You're here. You're breathing. That means it ain't over. That means there's still a fight in you, still purpose in you, still hope. It's okay to say, I got off track. It's okay to say, I wasn't thinking straight. It's okay to say, I let the wrong people in. That's human. That's real. What's not okay is pretending like you're okay when you're not. Keeping up the front, living the highlight reel while your soul is starving. You don't have to fake it anymore. You don't need approval from people who don't even know the weight you carry. You just need to get real with you. So I'll say it again, you cannot reset what you refuse to admit is broken. If your life feels off, stop ignoring the signs. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. That's courage. And that's the beginning of something better. It's time. Restart. Refocus. And don't look back. Now, once you've faced the truth, once you've said, all right, this ain't working, something's got to change. The next thing you've got to deal with is your mindset. Because let me tell you something, you can clean the outside all you want. You can move to a new city, get a new job, start dating someone new. But if your mind is still stuck in that same old pattern, nothing's really going to change. You're just decorating the same cage you've been trapped in. Your mindset is the steering wheel of your life. If it's turned the wrong way, it don't matter how fast you go. You're still headed off a cliff. And a lot of people out here are driving fast but lost. Grinding, hustling, doing all the right things on the surface, but their mind is still living in the past, still stuck on what they did wrong, who hurt them, who left, what didn't work out, still playing the same conversation over and over in their head like it's a broken record. That record been skipping for years, and you wonder why you can't move forward. Let me help you with this. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are not what they said about you. You are not what didn't work. That might have shaped you, but it doesn't define you. The only reason it still has power is because you keep giving it space in your mind. You keep feeding it with your thoughts. You keep speaking death over your own life with your own words. I'll never get out of this. I'm not good enough. I always mess it up. You keep planting weeds and wondering why nothing good is growing. You can't expect a new life with an old mind. If you want to reset, it starts in the way you think. And I ain't saying it's easy. I'm saying it's necessary. You've got to catch those thoughts when they creep in. You've got to fight back when that voice in your head tells you you're not qualified. You've got to learn to speak over yourself, encourage yourself, because guess what? Most days, ain't nobody coming to do it for you. Sometimes you've got to look in the mirror and remind yourself of what's true, even when you don't feel it. I am worthy. I do have purpose. I am not finished. My best days are not behind me. That's not just positive thinking. That's survival. That's how you stop the enemy at the door of your mind before he sets up shop and starts rearranging the furniture. Now I know some of y'all grew up with people who told you what you couldn't do. They told you to be realistic. They told you to stay in your lane. They told you your dreams were too big. And maybe you started believing them. Maybe you started shrinking yourself to fit into their small expectations. But let me tell you something, their ceiling is not your limit. Their fear is not your truth. Just because they didn't see it for themselves doesn't mean it can't be real for you. You've got to reset your mind like you reset your phone. Clear out the junk. Delete the old messages. Get rid of the stuff slowing you down. You ever notice your phone acts up when it's got too much running in the background? That's how your brain works too. You got thoughts running in the background from 5 years ago, arguments you already had, people you don't even talk to anymore. And you're wondering why your peace keeps crashing. You need to shut that stuff down and start fresh. The beautiful thing is you can rewire your mind. You can teach it something new. You can train it to look for opportunity instead of problems, to believe in possibility instead of assuming defeat. But it takes practice. It takes patience. And it takes deciding every single day to not let yesterday's mindset lead today's mission. So if you're serious about resetting your life, start by resetting the way you think. That's where the real work begins. Not in what you do, but in what you believe while you're doing it. It's time. Reset. Restart. Refocus. And don't look back. So now you've admitted the mess, you've started clearing your mind. But let me tell you something real important. Just cleaning up ain't enough. You can't just hit the reset button and expect your life to magically shift without giving it direction. That's where people mess up. They start over, but they don't know why. And if you don't know why you're starting again, you're going to find yourself right back in the same place you were trying to escape. You ever see somebody restart something for the 5th time and still end up in the same situation? New job, same stress. New relationship, same arguments. New plan, same excuses. That's because the restart didn't have purpose. It had motion, but no meaning. A restart without purpose is just activity. And activity ain't the same as progress. You've got to restart with intention, with clarity, with why. Your why is what keeps you going when the feelings fade. Because listen, the excitement of starting fresh, that'll wear off real fast. That motivation you felt on Monday morning, by Thursday, life gonna test you. And when it does, you need more than hype. You need something deep down that says, I can't quit on this because this is tied to something bigger than me. So what's your why? That's the real question. Why are you doing this? Why do you want a better life? Why are you pushing yourself to change? If the only answer is, I'm tired of this, that's not enough. Being tired might get you started, but purpose is what keeps you moving when you want to give up. Maybe your why is your kids. Maybe it's your future. Maybe it's that version of you that you know exists, even if you ain't met them yet. That person you dream about being when nobody's watching. That version of you who doesn't settle, doesn't break down every time life hits, doesn't apologize for dreaming big. That's the version you're working toward. That's your why. When you've got purpose, your restart becomes a mission, not just a reaction. You stop living by accident and start living by design. See, most people don't have a life. They have a routine. They wake up, go to work, come home, scroll through their phone, fall asleep, and repeat. No plan, just surviving, just getting through the day. But that ain't living. That's coasting. And you were built for more than that. And let me tell you, purpose doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it shows up in the little things, the things that spark something in your soul when nobody else sees it. Don't ignore that. Don't brush that off. If something in your spirit lights up when you talk about it or dream about it, that's not random. That's the blueprint talking to you. That's God saying, hey, pay attention. There's more in you, but restarting with purpose also means letting go of distractions. Because the enemy of purpose is not always failure, it's comfort. It's distractions dressed up as options. Comfort will kill your calling quicker than failure ever could. You get too comfortable in mediocrity, and you start making excuses for why you don't chase greatness. I'm too old. It's too late. What if I mess up again? Man, forget that. You messed up before and you're still breathing. That means you got another shot. Don't waste it. Restarting with purpose means you stop chasing approval and start chasing alignment. Everything you do from this moment forward should line up with who you're trying to become. The places you go, the people you allow around you, the choices you make. Ask yourself, is this feeding my purpose or starving it? Because if it's starving your purpose, it's costing you more than you think. This time around, don't just start. Start on purpose. Get quiet with yourself. Get still. Figure out what matters, and then lock in on that with everything you've got. Don't restart just to run in circles. Restart to run in the right direction. It's time. Reset. Restart. Refocus. and don't look back. Now, once you've made that decision to start again with purpose, there's something else you absolutely got to get in check, your focus. Because let me tell you, you can be walking in the right direction with the right mindset, knowing exactly why you're doing it, and still not make progress if your focus is all over the place. Some of y'all ain't tired because you're lazy. You're tired because your energy is being pulled in 100 directions that don't even matter. Let me break it down. You got a dream, a goal, a vision, something you feel deep in your gut. But instead of locking in on it, you're wasting your time, your effort, your mental energy on distractions. You're out here trying to fix people who don't want to be fixed. Trying to impress people who ain't even watching. Trying to win battles that don't pay off. That's why you're exhausted. That's why it feels like you're running, but not getting anywhere. You're watering dead plants. You know what I mean by that? A dead plant don't care how much sunshine you give it. You can water it every day, talk to it, play music for it. But if it's dead, it's dead. And some of y'all keep doing that with jobs, friendships, relationships, habits. You keep pouring into things that have already shown you they don't have life anymore. And while you're doing that, the things that could actually grow, the dreams, the business idea, the calling, are sitting over in the corner dry and ignored. Focus is about choices. It's about saying, this matters. That doesn't. I'm going to give my energy here, not there. And it takes discipline because distractions don't look like distractions when they come dressed as entertainment, gossip, fear, or even opportunity. Not everything that looks good is good for you. You've got to learn how to say no, even to good things, if they're not aligned with where you're going. You can't keep letting your phone, your followers, your notifications decide what gets your attention. You can't keep reacting to life and calling it busy. Being busy is not the same as being productive. And some people are so busy avoiding their purpose that they don't even realize they're wasting their gift. That's the danger of a distracted life. You'll get to the end of it and wonder why you never built anything that mattered. You want to know how to tell what's worth your focus. Ask yourself this, does this bring me closer to who I'm trying to become? Does this feed my spirit? Does this challenge me to grow? If the answer is no, let it go. I don't care how familiar it is, how fun it feels, or how many other people are doing it. If it's pulling you off track, it's a liability. And hear me on this, focus doesn't mean doing everything perfect. It doesn't mean your life's got to be flawless. It just means you stop giving your best energy to stuff that drains you and start giving it to what builds you. If you know your peace comes from praying in the morning, make that a priority. If you know you need to be writing that book, building that business, spending more time with your family, then give your best hours to that, not your leftover energy, not the crumbs after you've scrolled for 2 hours and watched everybody else live their life. There's a reason champions train when nobody's watching. There's a reason winners go to bed early, stay in their lane, and don't waste time explaining themselves to folks who ain't even qualified to speak on their journey. They know that where focus goes, energy flows, and where energy flows, results grow. So this season of your life, make it your mission to get serious about your focus. Set boundaries, get organized, protect your peace, silence the noise. Because you can have all the talent in the world, all the dreams, all the plans, but if your energy's scattered, your results will be too. It's time. Reset, restart, refocus, and don't look back. Now let's talk about something that can make or break everything you're trying to build, your environment. See, I don't care how good your intentions are, how strong your faith is, how much you've cleaned up your mindset. If you're still living in a toxic environment, still surrounded by the wrong voices, still entertaining people who ain't rooting for you, you're going to stay stuck, point blank, period. Your environment has the power to either feed your growth or suffocate your potential. And too many folks are trying to grow in soil that just ain't meant to support them. Think about this, you can plant the right seed, but if it's in the wrong soil, it's never going to grow. You might be the seed. You might have the talent, the calling, the work ethic, but if you're planted in negativity, doubt, small-mindedness, and drama, what chance do you really have to bloom? You got to stop acting like you're the problem when really it's the place you're trying to grow in. Sometimes you ain't broken. You're just planted in the wrong garden. Let me tell you something about people. You don't just outgrow habits. You outgrow people too. And that's hard. I get it. It's hard to let go of people you've known for years, people you've laughed with, cried with, maybe even built a life with. But growth demands separation sometimes, not because you're better than them, but because you're headed somewhere they're not willing to go. And if you keep tying your future to folks who are stuck in their past, guess what? You'll end up stuck too. You've got to start asking yourself, who's speaking into my life? Who do I allow in my circle? What voices am I giving access to my peace? Because not everybody deserves front row seats in your journey. Some folks need to be moved to the balcony. And some folks don't need a seat at all. You're letting people too close to your purpose just because you've got history. But let me ask you, does that history serve your destiny? Or does it keep you tied to dysfunction? I'm telling you right now, if someone's always draining your energy, doubting your vision, belittling your dreams, or making you question your worth, cut the cord. Love them, bless them, pray for them, but let them go. You can't elevate while holding hands with anchors. You've got to be willing to protect your space like your life depends on it, because spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, it does. Now, this ain't just about people. It's also about what you consume. What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you scrolling through for hours every day? You feeding your mind trash and expecting to feel peace, feel motivated, feel focused. That's like filling your gas tank with water and wondering why the car won't start. Your spirit is starving because you've been giving it junk. Be intentional about what you feed your soul. Find things that build you, teach you, uplift you. Put yourself in rooms where your dreams feel normal, not too big. Start surrounding yourself with people who clap when you win, not just when you struggle. Let me break it down like this: environment is energy, and energy is contagious. You hang around motivated people, you start catching motivation. You hang around disciplined folks, their habits rub off on you. But if you stay around bitter, lazy, drama-filled folks, that stuff seeps into you too. You start thinking it's normal. You start settling. You start dimming your light just to keep them comfortable. That ain't living. That's spiritual suffocation. And don't think you have to wait until everything's perfect to change your environment. Sometimes the boldest thing you can do is move while you're still scared, still unsure. Step into better rooms. Make new connections. Say no more often. Be unavailable to nonsense. Create the kind of space where your future self will thank you for how you protected your peace. You want to reset your life. Start with where you are and who's around you, because your future can't flourish in a space that's killing your spirit. It's time. Reset, restart, refocus, and don't look back. Now, after you've been real with yourself, cleaned up your mindset, restarted with purpose, sharpened your focus, and protected your environment, there's still one more thing you absolutely got to get: consistency. Let me tell you right now, none of what you've done so far is going to matter if you don't stick with it. Starting is easy. Everybody can start, but finishing takes consistency. That's the difference between the people who talk about change and the people who actually change. See, most folks don't fail because they're not gifted. They don't fail because they're not smart. They fail because they quit. They get hyped up one day, write down all their goals, get inspired for a week, and then life hits, the pressure comes, and they go right back to the same patterns. And I get it, it's hard, it gets lonely, it gets slow. But the truth is, the ones who win are the ones who keep showing up even when the feeling is gone, even when the results are slow, even when nobody's clapping. You've got to be consistent when it's quiet. You can't build anything great off emotion. Emotion is a visitor. It comes and goes. But consistency, that's commitment. That's discipline. That's showing up to the gym when you'd rather sleep. That's working on your dream when nobody believes in it yet. That's saving money when everybody else is spending it. That's waking up and choosing not to settle. Again and again and again, people ask me all the time, what's the secret? The secret is there is no secret. It's just hard work, repeated effort, and staying locked in when you feel like walking away. That's it. That's the unglamorous truth. You don't need more inspiration. You need repetition. You don't need more motivation. You need momentum. And momentum only comes from doing the same right thing day after day, even when it's boring, even when it's uncomfortable. Let me tell you something about greatness. It don't come in a flash. It's not a viral moment. It's not overnight success. Greatness comes in the repetition. It comes from small choices stacked on top of each other over time. Nobody sees the early mornings, the sacrifices, the doubts you push through. But that's where the real magic happens. It's in the uncelebrated moments, the private battles, the little wins you kept showing up for. And you've got to understand, every time you choose consistency, you're voting for your future. You're casting a vote for the person you're trying to become. And sure, some days you'll mess up, some days you'll fall short. But consistency is not about perfection. It's about showing up again, even after the mess, even after the setback. You just keep moving forward, one step at a time. That's how you win. That's how you build something that lasts. But you've got to stop being loyal to your comfort. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop saying, I'll get serious when things calm down. Life's not going to calm down. You've got to get consistent in the chaos. You've got to learn how to stay committed when your emotions shift. Because if you only move when it feels good, you'll never build anything strong. Consistency is the bridge between what you say you want and what you actually experience. And the truth is, if you don't commit to it, you'll keep resetting the same life over and over and calling it starting fresh. That's not a reset, that's a cycle. And you've got to break it. So let me ask you, are you willing to do what it takes, even when it's not flashy? Are you willing to build in the dark, without applause, without recognition, just because you know you're called to it? Because that's where the real ones are made, in the silence, in the grind, in the moments when no one sees you, but God is watching. This time, don't just start, stay. Stay in the process. Stay in the work. Stay in the mindset. Stay in the discipline. Because your future doesn't need another promise. It needs your persistence. It's time. Restart. Refocus. And don't look back. So here we are. You've looked in the mirror. You've told the truth. You've cleaned up your mindset. You've decided to start over with purpose, not panic. You've tightened your focus, created the right environment, and committed to showing up, even when it's hard, even when it's quiet. That right there. That's how you change your life. This ain't just about motivation. This is a decision, a lifestyle, a turning point. Because once you realize the power, you have to reset, to restart, and to refocus. There's no excuse left. Not your past, not your age, not your failures. Nothing has the right to keep you stuck unless you let it. You get to rewrite your story. You get to rebuild your peace. You get to rise again stronger, wiser, more intentional than ever. And you don't need permission to do it. You just need to decide. So take this moment, not just to feel inspired, but to act, to draw the line in the sand and say, that old version of me, I'm done with it. From this moment forward, I'm stepping into who I was born to be. Because it's time. Reset, restart, refocus. And don't look back.